भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms, thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all, thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful, may the wicked become gentle, may all creatures think of mutual welfare, may their minds be with what is spiritual and abiding, may our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Opening hymn by Peter.
So as we do many years around this time, we'll sing Ring Out Wild Bells, which is a song about the turning of the year from the old year to the new year. It was originally written, the words were anyway, by the great English poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. Ring out wild bells to the wild, wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let it go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind. For those that hear, we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in redress to humankind. Ring out false pride in heart and soul. Transcend the mind, bring more light. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common love of good.
ब्रह्ममेतु मां madhumetu mam brahmamedhaya madhumedhaya brahmameva madhumedhaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we realize Brahman, the existence absolute. May we also realize the bliss absolute. May we realize Brahman, the existence absolute, which is also the bliss absolute. May we realize the Brahman by purification of our understanding. May we realize the bliss absolute by purification of our understanding. May we realize the Brahman existence absolute, which also is the bliss absolute, by purification of our understanding. Om, peace, peace, peace. So friends, although this is not exactly New Year Day, the baby that was born on New Year Day must be now 6 days old. So, but yet this is the first Sunday service in this new year. And so, therefore let us ponder a little bit about this idea that we have to begin things afresh. The earth has rotated 365 times around itself and once around the sun, that we call that 1 year. 1 year has elapsed. And thus it's the time to think about, to celebrate upcoming of the new year, to observe certain things that we did earlier, again reassess all our resources, rearrange them, and plan for their best use as we go forward in life. In our social, political, cultural, and religious life, we have so many rituals and ceremonies, and the importance of these is again to reaffirm our resolves, rekindle the fire of moving ahead with our progressive ideas, which keep on sagging during the time, and 1 year is rather a long time. It is like a rope tied between two poles, you know. It sags, although you have tied it very tight, yet as the time rolls on, you see it becomes sagging in the middle. So our life's plans, resolves, the determinations, they also have this effect as we move day to day. Actually, every moment is a fresh moment. Every day is a fresh day. But 1 year is a big milestone that should guide us or inspire us to pause and then take the stock of the situation, introspect, and then think what best we can do from now on. these celebrations, different types of celebrations have different, significance, but all have this common idea. Certain observances and celebrations are limited to certain communities, like say St. Patrick's Day, or say Rosh Hashanah, Diwali, Holi. These have they appeal to certain people. Even New Year, you see different communities over the world, they have different per days as New Year Day. There are different calendars, solar calendar, lunar calendar, and so forth. And many of them have, the differences have certain geographical reasons. But this particular calendar has been now adopted almost all over the world. And so this January 1st is observed all through the world. Whatever may be the community that you belong to, whatever may be the country that you are from, and we see that it is, this day is observed all through. And so when we think of this day, we see, well, a year has gone by, 2018 is over, bye-bye 2018, hi 2019. So it is, here we have an opportunity, so to say, to lift ourselves up again, to, as I was mentioning, tighten that rope that was sagging. The enthusiasm, that we have keeps on, wavering in its intensity. The resolves keep on, getting dropped. And then once we lose the initiative and the energy, it has another bad impact, that we do not then feel the energy to bring it back. I didn't do that yesterday, like exercise, doing exercises. That yes, one decides that every day I will do this exercise. The other day somebody reminded me that Swami, because those people had come about 6-7 months back or so, and then said, Swami, I don't see you in the morning with the weights on your ankles. Hey, that reminded me. For my exercises I used to do that, but then due to some reasons I dropped it for a day, and then next day, then the third day. So it keeps on happening. Now that reminder, yes, it's too long a time. Now I have to restart doing that. So it is, I think it is generally, it happens with everybody. It happens with me all the time, I know. And maybe with many people I spoke, it seems to happen in a lesser or more degree with them too. So this is a more or less general problem, that we decide to do something, and something for our own good, for our own betterment. There is not some altruism involved. For our own betterment we have decided to do it, and yet didn't do it, and then nothing much happened, you see. So next day also I don't do it, and then that becomes a habit. Inertia sets in, as it were. And so such occasions, they help us to shake us from this inertia. Oh, New Year is beginning. I must again start these good practices, and this time I will not give up my resolve, my determination. I want to keep it up. So it is very helpful to think of these things as we are beginning afresh, and let us make sure that it stays all through, so that next year we can go from where we left this year ahead further, rather than again going back and trying to stitch those lost threads together. So it is important to do it. In every field this happens, and I am going to concentrate because we are at Vedanta Society, and we are almost all of us, I would say, clear about the goal, that yes, as the opening prayer said, I want to realize that all-pervading, absolutely blissful existence in my life. I want to realize God. That is the goal of our life, that as we understand it. Yes, I want to realize the highest in life. That is actually, if you look at it closely and logically, that is the definition of goal also. In our mind, we cannot give the place of goal to something that is less than highest. It can be a temporary stop or a stage as a launching pad, but then our goal is that which is the highest, and that highest is called God. We may have several ideas about God, some may be conflicting, but this is for certain a common idea about God, that God is the highest. There is not something superior to that or better than that. And so the goal is clear. And then the path in general, there are various spiritual practices that we perform. All these spiritual practices, let me call them in one single word, meditation. Meditation has again different connotations, but for our today's discussion, the word meditation means all that we do with this intention of realizing the truth, taking our life to that level where I and God, we become one. I and my ideal, we become one. All that we do for that, let us call it meditation. So, I am going to talk about that today, and what kind of beginning afresh we need to do at every possible juncture that we feel that, well, I need more inspiration. I need to reharness my energies and then put those to this great ideal of my life. Meditation is a process, that is not followed by all human beings, because all human beings do not pay much attention to the goal of their life. And so they do not need meditation. After all, how many live a life that is goal-oriented? Most of us live life to survive, to eat, to get livelihood, to get money, to become, superior to somebody. And that is, there you really, for this physical sustenance, you do not need God or religion for that matter. Religion is especially needed by human beings, not by animals. You see, animals, they don't pray to God, or they do not have any such idea. Do they not survive? They also get their food, they also get their shelter. So, for our physical sustenance, we do not require any God or any meditation. So, therefore, those who are satisfied with this, they do not need meditation. But human being, when one looks at the human core inside this body, which is common to animals and human beings, then the question of ideal comes up. As human beings want to lead a purposeful life, we want to do things for a purpose, not just instinctively pulled about, but yes, this is the purpose of my living, this is how the life should be led. And so you direct the energies. Apart from, physical sustenance, that is something that is needed as a vehicle. I need my body as a vehicle. But you don't buy your vehicle just to fill gas in it. You want to take it to some journey, and that is why you have a vehicle. Otherwise, why you need to buy it? Similarly, this body is a vehicle that is bought for this purpose of journey, to get to the destination. And so we think about the goal of life, and then want to direct all our energies to experience, to realize, to get to that goal. So this is the human life. Otherwise, it is all an animal life. Except for this part, everything that human beings do is an animal life. Animal life on 2 feet. There is that phoenix, that question was, she used to ask. She had a head of woman and body of lion. This is that Greek mythology story. And then everybody, she would ask, she would be on a throne, and then would ask a question. You have to answer the question right. Otherwise, you will be killed. If you answer it right, then you will be given that throne. And the question was, who is that who in the morning has 4 legs, in the afternoon 2 legs, and in the evening has 3 legs? And then nobody could really answer which animal is that. And then what is his name? Oedipus? He answered, human beings, we are that, I am that. In my morning means in my childhood I crawl, I have 4 legs. Then I walk on 2 legs, As I become old, I need a stick, third leg as it were. So, we have 3 legs at that stage. So, this is human being. So, it is at that level we are no different from animal. We are just animals, and we don't require any religion or any goal of life. The goal of life is somehow to get the daily bread, somehow food, and then we are worse than animal. Animals at least do not go after money. Human beings are worse. That which cannot be eaten, that also we run after, you see. So it is, but then somebody, the human element in us starts thinking that what is the purpose of this? And there the human life begins. That what is the purpose of all this? We become human beings. One Sanskrit couplet that I remember in this context that says that otherwise we are animals. These are all common things between human beings and animals. That it is, we also, have the food, that then we also have fear, we also procreate, ahara, nidra, we sleep like other creatures, bhaya, fear, and procreation like all other creatures, human beings, and those you cannot distinguish human beings from other animals on these counts. Then where lies the differentiation, distinction, special feature of being human? The next line says, dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhis samana. That their religion is the only distinguishing factor between animals and humans. Take this out, and dharmena hina pashubhis samana. If you take this factor out, there is no distinction at all. It is just one another species of animals. That's it. So, it is therefore meditation, spiritual life, all these are essentially human characteristics. So, these human characteristics, they are for evolution from human being to divine being. This is a next dimension of evolution. From amoeba to human being, it is Darwinian evolution, evolution of different species. But now, as human being, we have the goal to become divine. And then the vehicle for that is meditation, human to divine. And there we have to direct our energies. We get this call, all of us. Some people pay heed to it, some do not. And those who pay heed to it, they have to reassert this ideal again and again, rejuvenate themselves, because the animal in us keeps us dragging down. It is okay that inertiatic tendencies drag us down. We just concentrate with our identity as body. I am this body. And thus we become just animals. So, to assert our inner manhood or the divinity, we have to, make efforts. And there the sagging happens more often because it is a really uphill task. a journey that requires lot of efforts, like climbing Mount Everest. Well, it is, you require determination for that. One of my friends, he had the desire to somehow climb that Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro. So he had heard about it and so wanted to go there. So he started preparation for that. Various types of physical exercises, restrictions, and all that. And thus he, after a couple of years of practicing, he went and accomplished that. So it is, for going to a high ideal means lot of determination and discipline is needed. And when we come to our identity not as the divine but as an animal, the body, physical identity, then that determination sags, goes away, and then like animals just running after the tidbits of food and shelter and procreation, that's about it. So this happens to our spiritual urge. So therefore this has to be kept up by fresh resolves. A beautiful book, Vedanta Sara, by Sadananda Yogindra. It is a later Vedanta text, but is considered a very good primer for the study of Vedanta, Vedanta Sara. So it gives the 4 obstacles that come in our spiritual life. These 4 obstacles, they kind of do not let us progress further. It is, they are called antaraya, means the obstacles. These 4 obstacles have been narrated in that book, almost at the end of the book. It is, the first one is called torpidity, kashaya. The mind goes to sleep, as it were, It is our spiritual urge goes to sleep. People experience this. At one time, you feel that, yes, my life is for spiritual evolution. I must exert myself to do that. And this urge wakes up. But then we blame it on circumstances, that, well, this happened and then I forgot. This urge then goes to sleep. Certain other things take predominance in or precedence in our lives, and this urge goes to sleep. It is called kashaya. It is laya. The Sanskrit word for this is laya, means the mind goes to sleep. This urge goes to sleep. In other areas the mind is very active, but in this particular urge, this is gone asleep. So that is what happens. So we have to rejuvenate that. Tell ourselves that let me begin afresh. No point in cursing oneself. Oh, what did I do wrong? I am like this. Don't get depressed about it. That why did I go to sleep? Forget that. Now you are wake up again. Now start. Wake yourself up. Call yourself. It says, Laye Sambodhaye Chittam. Like the moms have to call their children, they are asleep, but they have to go to school. So, hey, get up. We had that little kids rhyme, lazy Mary, will you get up, will you get up, will you get up? And she would reply, no, no, mother, I won't get up, I won't get up, I won't get up. So, our mind goes to that lazy state and doesn't want to get up. So we have to call it, shake it. Yeah, it used to happen to me very often. For normal, good kids, calling was enough. For me, the mom had to shake me. Hey, come on! So it is. So we have to give a good shake to the mind. Hey, get up. Are you not human being? Are you not human being? Oh, yes, yes, I am human being. I am not a mere animal that just is identified with body. I am a human being. I know my goal. So it is, wake up. Let that spiritual urge be woken up by a fierce shake. Yes, then that is, when this obstacle is there, you have to do that. Wake it up. There are other obstacles. The second one is that distraction. That it goes here and there. Not that it is asleep, but the other attractions drag it around. So, what is the solution for that? Remind yourself of the goal and tell that how these attractions are detrimental to your achieving the goal. For example, just take that same little school kids' life that to me, mom would shake and wake up. But then at times I am woken up, I am not asleep, but playing. That is, the kids would play. Normally the mind is a kid like that. I would keep on playing with other objects. So the parents would, hey, what is this? Did you finish your homework? What have you been doing? Do you not want to study? Did you do your prayers? All that admonishment. So we have to admonish our mind. Hey, come on, what are you doing? Have you come here in this life just to waste it by playing these nonsensical things? No, no, no. Are you not ashamed of yourself? That like animals, you run after these physical things? No. Then, I needed that kind of admonishment. Not just that, the normal kids would do with admonishment. I needed sometimes good thrashing, beating. So, that is, one should do like that to one's minds. What are you doing? That is when the mind is getting distracted. There is the third obstacle. Yeah, that is an attachment. Yeah. One little child, she came for the children's camp, and then she had this thing, and she asked me, hey, what is the Wi-Fi password? I told, well, for this children's thing, we are not going to give you the Wi-Fi. You are not allowed to do that. She was certainly not happy, but one has to do certain things, focus on certain things. So that is what, when the mind gets distracted, one has to do that. Third thing is attachment. That mind is not getting distracted into many things, but it is attached to certain things, it is not coming off that. We all get stuck with certain attachments, that I have this and I have that. It is, and we pass many of those attachments for duty, for my work. They are not really your duty, but we are attached. We get stuck with that. And being intelligent, we cover that attachment with a nice name. And this is my duty. It is no. Duty is a very different thing than attachment. Those who have read Swami Vivekananda's book Karma Yoga or the second chapter, third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they can easily see the clear difference between duty and attachment. So, mind gets attached to things. So what should we do then? Pull it away from there. One has to pull it away from the attachment, saying that this is not what you should do. It is not real. This was not your goal. Come on. Remove yourself from this sticking thing. Attachment is needs, something harsher than just telling. It is like you have to, things get stuck and then they put WD-40 and then take it apart. Some force is needed. If there is attachment, it is, Adishwarananji used to give that example, that if there is, dust, you can just broom or vacuum, it comes off. But if it is some big stain, then you need some other, it is stuck with the floor. And sometimes you need really, he would say, a hammer and a chisel to take it out. So, because the attachments are so strong, it doesn't want to come out. So, this is another obstacle in our path, and we have to address this. It is, see, as we saw in the beginning, spiritual life is an uphill task. It is, otherwise, well, we know what level of life we lead if we do not push ourselves up. Going down does not require any effort. Like letting the water flow downwards, you don't require any power for that. If you want to take it up, you have to put pump, you see. So, same thing with our life. Going with our all natural propensities doesn't require any effort. It is only when we have to make it go up. That is where we have to really girdle up loins, make determination and move forward. So this is very important to lead life as a human being. When there is attachment, remove it mercilessly. And there should be no mercy shown to these things. Very important. If you show mercy to your these attachments, then you are at a loss. Nothing is gained by that. It is not that the objects or the people that you are attached to, they get anything out of it. Neither they get, only you lose, that's all. So, this is to be remembered. And the fourth obstacle is rather funny. That you are moving forward. And as you move forward in meditation, the joy comes up. Because you are moving towards the source of bliss, you see. That is the great difference between the joy that one gets in spiritual progress and the joy that one gets through the contact with the sense objects. The two things are very different. The joy that one gets from the contact of sense objects, like eye and cookie, the tongue comes in contact with the cookie and it feels a pleasant sensation for a short time. But spiritual joy is not coming out of this contact. It comes from our true nature, which is bliss itself. So as you move towards it, you get a bliss. That does not depend on anything. That joy that you get from cookie, that depends on the cookie being available, and you should have the taste for it. The problem with that is obvious, we all have seen that you take a little bit of, you feel happy. Then it happens when there are children around here, that they take a bite, that's gone, Why? Because you don't, that cookie never had any happiness. You thought that it has, and since you didn't get it, you threw it away. It is, the sense objects are like that. They intrinsically do not have any happiness. It is this spiritual happiness, it comes from within as we advance towards that. But then a little joy comes and we get stuck in that joy, forgetting the progress, that I have to go further. We don't think of that and get stuck in whatever little we have achieved. And thus, we ultimately get vanquished. This story of the hare and the tortoise. They started on a race. And then the hare went far ahead. Naturally, the turtle was going slowly. But who won the race? Who won the race? Turtle wins the race. Because this fellow goes, hey, okay, now let me relax. So we relax. I have achieved a lot in spiritual life. I have become a Swami and I have been doing meditation. So I have now achieved stupidity, It is what you have achieved can go away in no time. If you keep on enjoying that state. So let the mind not get into that folly. Remind in that when that obstacle comes, remind that you have to move forward. Go ahead. You have done great, wonderful. But you have to go further. Go further. Do not stop till the goal is reached. As Swami Vivekananda used to say, that arise, awake. You have to arouse the mind from that slumber. That it is, wake up, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. This is a new beginning afresh. We should do it every moment, every day, at least once a year, and not stop till the goal is reached. So, thank you, friends. We will have a short 30-second meditation on these ideas, and then in case if you have questions, please feel free to ask. Yes, please. Oh, you have a question, Ray. Come on.
Yes,
Well, you can certainly call them something in between, in the sense that they have the double leanings. They have a higher leaning and a lower leaning as well. It is in the higher leaning, and that makes it really art. It is like meditation. It is meditation. Art or music or any form of art, it is that. It is meditation because it becomes spiritual. But the art has the other propensities for worldly enjoyment. As soon it comes, let me sell my art, and then it becomes different. When you pander for the appreciation from people, it does not remain any more meditative or spiritual. It becomes an animal thing. That it is, you seek appreciation. You seek monetary gains from that. And then it no longer becomes something in the middle. It becomes animalish. And otherwise it becomes spiritual. So even the artists, they have to be very careful. It is very, very easy, and that happens with most artists, that they fall back to the material things. Not only with artists, it is with the scientists also. At one end, the science calls you for the search of truth. But you never know when this search for truth degenerates into search for pleasant things. And then, you see, that is how science is very quickly it turns into technology that you can make money from. It is, easily it happens, So, therefore, one thing is, it takes you, that part, takes you to spiritual life. Other part takes you to any animalish thing, It is, therefore, all these things, if you introspect, you will see that how the art takes these two. There is a lecture by Swami Vivekananda on this topic, that about art, science, and how one moves forward in using those things. He therefore mentions music is the highest spiritual practice. For those, he qualifies it, for those who take it up in that manner, those who understand it. So, otherwise, music is just a sense enjoyment. You are welcome, Raymond. Nice question, thank you. Any other question? Yes, Charlie?
Don't we all want appreciation?
Huh?
Don't we all want appreciation?
That is an animal tendency. We all want appreciation. And when we want appreciation, immediately we go down to the animal level. We not only just animal level, see the idea of appreciation. You bring yourself down to a thing in the showcase in the shops, you see. Animals are better. It is we become a piece in a showcase that kept there. People appreciate, oh, this is nice. So we want that kind. Oh, people should say it is nice. We become terrible slaves by pandering for appreciation. Yeah, when people say, Swami gives such a wonderful talk, hey, gone spiritual practice, you say. It is pandering for appreciation, it enslaves you. And therefore, appreciation, the tendency to feel that let people appreciate me, it really depreciates us. So it does not appreciate. It is, yes, you appreciate a good quality in someone, that helps me when I appreciate. But when I seek appreciation, it degenerates me. So let us read the programs of the coming week. Coming weekend, the coming Sunday, it's an interesting talk by Abhijit Sarkar. He will be speaking on Vivekananda, the global preacher, the first global preacher. Not only global preacher, but Vivekananda is the first global preacher. Abhijit Sarkar sitting there. He is a wonderful speaker and a spiritual aspirant, a very meditative person. So please come to hear that talk. He speaks very nicely. And the other classes during the week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 7:30 p.m., they will go on as usual. Tuesdays, the topic is Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. And Fridays, it is Shvetashvatar Upanishad. The morning and evening regular meditations and chanting of prayers is going on. You are all welcome to attend that morning and evening meditations. So it is very helpful, Meditating somewhere in one's home is one thing. Meditating, coming here and meditating, it is a different experience. So one gets more focus, better concentration, better serene moments in that meditation. So it is very useful. Let me conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of Native Americans, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Now there will be Arati, and then